Let's do it. Why don't you give me your witness order so we can... Okay, not Asian. So FAA. I'm sorry? Terry Lloyd. Yes.
Okay, Stuart Lewis on file 16-615-77. Mr. Lewis charged with felonious assault and stolen firearms on the official subject. And Stuart Lewis on file 16-615-09, where Mr. Lewis is charged with making a false report or threat of terrorism. Count 2, possession with intent to deliver marijuana, and count 3, malicious destruction of a building, less than $200 in damage. That's a tag along misdemeanor. And good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Stuart Lewis.
How are you this morning, Mr. Lewis?
I'm fine.
Good. And for the people?
Elizabeth Denmark for the people.
And for Mr. Lewis?
Good morning, Your Honor. Angela Peterson on behalf of Mr. Lewis.
All right. And are we proceeding to examine both these matters?
We are, Your Honor, and just to make the court aware, Jim O'Donnell will be here as soon as he's done and Judge Vance and that.
All right. Well, which case you want to do first?
Your Honor, the people would ask to consolidate the two matters for exam purposes for judicial economy and to also do the 404B evidence with regard to the defendant with respect to the motivation for the second matter, and then we would have the same the evidence regarding 404B with regard to the other witness regarding the location where this occurred being the same location, similar usage of the spray paint and all of that. We'd like to take testimony altogether of all the witnesses. No objection.
Okay, proceed, please, Mr. Lewis.
Your Honor, we would ask for a mutual order sequestration with an exception for the officer in charge of both of the matters. One officer in charge is Detective Graham, who's seated at counsel table. The other officer in charge is seated behind me, Detective Split.
I'm sorry, Detective Woodruff?
Graham and Split.
S-P-L-I-T-T?
Correct.
And if I may just inquire, those are the officers in charge for the felonious assault.
Felonious assault is Detective Graham, and
Yes.
the terrorism case is Detective Split.
Okay, then I'm going to ask that Detective Graham be excused after the taking of the testimony regarding the felonious assault.
Any objection?
I would leave that to the court. I don't believe he had anything to do with any of the investigation of the other matters.
All right.
Okay.
Call your first witness.
Your Honor, at this time, the people call Ben Perry. Good morning, sir. Can you state your name for the record?
Ben Perry.
Mr. Perry, I'm going to take your attention back to October 17th, 2016. On that day and time, where were you employed? Oh, I'm sorry. One moment. Judge, if we could, I would ask the court to enter an order with respect to the civilian witnesses, that their photos, their faces their names not be depicted in any photography, be it video or a still photographs, because of the fact that they are civilian witnesses. I have two, Mr. Perry and Ms. Whitehorn, and I would ask that they not be depicted facially in any way.
All right, I can grant.
And their names not be printed as well.
Okay.
Okay, let me back up. Sir, can you state your name for the record?
Ben Perry.
Mr. Perry, I'm going to take your attention back to October 17th, 2016, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Do you recall that day and time?
Yes.
And where were you working at that time?
RMS Recovery.
And what is RMS Recovery?
Repo Company.
And when you say repo, talking about repossession?
Yes.
And what do you repossess?
Anything that's finance.
Okay. And on that date of October 17th, 2016, in the afternoon hours, were you going to 19942 Exeter, E-X-E-T-E-R, in the city of Detroit, county of Wayne, for repossession?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you armed with a repossession order to repossess something?
Yes, ma'am.
And what took you to that particular address?
It was a work order that came across the computer to repossess the Sierra pickup truck.
And when you say Sierra pickup truck, is that a GMC vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
And was it that address given to you for any particular reason that you know?
No, ma'am.
And once you receive that address and the type of vehicle, do you receive any other information about that vehicle, such as color of the vehicle, things like that?
License plate, sometimes description of the vehicle as far as the color go.
And were you given any name of any person?
Yes.
What name were you given?
Stuart.
And no last name, just the name Stuart? If you know.
I mean, Stuart Lewis. Or
Okay. And when you go to that area, do you get to that location, that Exeter address?
Yes.
What's at that address? Is it a house? Is it a building? What?
There's a house, a lot on the side of the house, a business across the street from the house.
Okay. Do you see the vehicle that you're looking for repossession?
Yes, parked on the grass in front of the door.
And how do you do your repossession? Is it with a tow truck, the key to the vehicle itself? How is that done?
Tow truck.
And is the tow truck marked in any way?
Yes.
What is it marked with?
RMS.
And are you equipped wearing any sort of clothing that would indicate the business that you work for?
Yes, ma'am.
What is that?
My sweater.
And you're pointing to what you're wearing today. Is that what you were wearing on that occasion?
Yes, ma'am.
And is there something on that shirt that indicates where you work for?
Report agent
And where does it say repo agent?
on the back.
And when you say on the back, is that across the shoulders area?
Yes,
Back of the
ma'am.
shoulders? And is there some indication on the front of that sweatshirt?
Yes, name of the company, RMS.
When you arrive at that location, do you see the vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do when you see the GMC truck?
Lower my boom bag up to it, hook it, get out, strap it down, pull it, and attempt to pull off.
When you say lower the boom, that's the part of the tow truck that you would actually attach that truck to your tow truck with?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you say you get out, when you first arrive, you have to get out and strap the truck up?
When I first arrive, I back up to the truck, hook it. It's according to what kind of car it is. If it's a front-wheel drive car, you hook it from the front. If it's a back-wheel drive car, you hook it from the back. If it's an all-wheel drive, you got to get out, strap it down, so you can drag it to a safe location.
And is that what you did on this occasion?
Yes.
All right. And do you encounter anyone while you're attempting to do this when you first get out of the truck?
Yes, all the time.
And on this occasion?
Yes.
Who did you encounter?
Mr. Stewart.
And if you were to see that person again, would you recognize that person?
Yes.
Do you see that person in court today?
Yes, ma'am.
Where's that person located? What is that person wearing?
Yellow shirt, green pants.
Indicating for the record identification of the defendant in this matter, Stuart Lewis. And where do you encounter him?
Him running out the house. Some lady, I don't know if it was his girlfriend, wife, or whoever, running out behind him. He tell her to get in the car and block me in.
You hear him tell her to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
And what does he say exactly?
He gonna put my,
You can say whatever words he said to you.
He gonna put my motherfucking car down. I'm gonna blow this motherfucker up.
And how do you feel when he says that?
I started lowering the car. She blocked me in. I told him how I'm supposed to move. She got me blocked in.
When you say she blocks you in, where does she put the vehicle?
Right directly in front of my truck.
What kind of vehicle does she place in front of your truck?
It was a white, I don't know, Buick, Toyota or something.
Buick or Toyota?
Yes.
A passenger car? A passenger car?
Yes.
Do you recall if it was 4-door or 2-door?
4-door.
All right. And when she positions the vehicle, is that in front of your tow truck?
Yes.
Are you able to move at that time?
No.
Do you ever see the defendant armed with anything?
Yes, ma'am.
When does that come to be?
She blocked me in. He went in the house, get the shotgun, come back out.
And when that occurs, how do you feel?
I mean, I'm fearful for my life. I was trying to get away, but she was blocking me, and I tell him I'm supposed to move. She fucking in front of my truck.
And does he say anything to you once he comes out with the gun?
Yeah, he told me I'm gonna put the truck down. You gonna drop my truck, or I'm gonna blow your fucking head off.
How do you feel when he says that to you?
I mean, it's a threat, but you know, my job is dangerous, so I, try to get away.
What do you think would happen if you didn't try to get away or put the truck down, or both?
I mean, he probably would have shot me.
Were you concerned that that would happen?
Yes.
You put the truck down at that time?
Yeah.
Are you eventually able to leave the area?
Yes, I went down towards 8 Mile, sat on the corner. As I was sitting, I called the police. I was waiting for the police to come. Mr. Stuart jumped in his truck, came towards me. I took off, went around the corner, sat on the corner, and told the police I'll sit around the corner until they pull up.
Okay. And you left his truck at that location?
Yeah.
When you say he pulled up, is that in the same truck you were trying to repossess?
Yes.
At some point in time, does the Buick or Toyota 4-door move from in front of your tow truck?
Yeah, he told me to move.
Okay. That's once you put the truck down?
Yes.
Does your truck have anything with which to protect you in terms of any surveillance equipment?
Yes. I got 4 cameras in my truck.
And did you turn that over to the police, the prosecutor's office at some point?
Yes.
And did you have the opportunity to look at it and indicate that that's the correct day and time that all of this occurred?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I would move to admit the video as People's Proposed Exhibit 7.
Objection without argument.
All right. So admitted.
And sir, I'm going to pause this for just a moment. There's a monitor next to you there. Do you see on the screen the same video that you provided to us?
Yes.
And is there a day and time associated with that in the corner?
Yes.
Okay. And is that October 17th, 2016, about 4:07 p.m.?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that you depicted in the upper right quadrant?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that the defendant's vehicle on the tow truck in the lower
Yes.
left?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And at this time, I will push play and play this for the court. In the upper left quadrant, do you see the vehicle that pulled in front of your tow truck?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's depicting the front of your tow truck looking out?
Yes, ma'am.
And then in the lower left, who is come out of the home at that time?
Mr. Stewart.
Excuse me, I'm going to ask the prosecutor to not leave.
I didn't hear any leaving. Who was that that came out the house?
Well, no, she's saying in the top floor, is that the car that's pulled in front of the truck, that's the front of your...
Kind of late making that objection. Okay.
Well, I'm trying to be patient with it, but I didn't want it to continue throughout the entirety of the video.
All right.
With regard to the lower left quadrant that depicts the front of the house where the truck is in front of.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that the address of 19942 Exeter?
Yes, ma'am.
Where is the weapon at this time?
And Mr. Stewart left hand.
And his right hand is on the truck itself?
Yes.
Well, just was. Is that the same weapon he was holding when he said he would blow this up and
Yes.
shoot you? At any point in time, does he point it at you?
Said, well, no.
At any point in time, does he point it at you? Point the weapon at you?
When he came up with, when he told me to drop his vehicle before I blow this motherfucker up.
And where was he positioned when he pointed
On the
at
side, on the driver's side of my truck.
you? When you say on the driver's side, the side closest to you or the side?
Closest to me.
Okay. So he actually comes onto your side of the vehicle at some point?
Yes.
All right. And how close is he to you when he points that weapon at you?
He's standing probably at the bed of my truck.
Okay.
At the what of your truck?
Bed.
Oh, okay. And approximately how many feet is that, if you can estimate?
Probably about 2 or 3 feet.
What area of your body does he point that weapon?
He pointed towards the truck. I was sitting in the truck.
So, the midsection of your body, the upper part of your body? The lower
Upper part of my body.
And is this when you flee from the area?
Yes, ma'am.
After this happens, you report what happens to the police?
Yes, ma'am.
And do they come to the area?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you ever see the police doing anything with the defendant? Or were
As
you
far
not
as-
there at that time?
No, I was there.
Okay. Do you see them take the defendant into custody?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you see them take anything from him or the house or the truck?
I seen him pick the shotgun up out the back of his bed in the truck.
Is that the same gun that had been pointed at you earlier?
Yes.
Did all this happen in the city of Detroit, County of Wayne?
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing further than this witness at this time.
Ross?
Good afternoon, Mr. Perry.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Perry, you described my client as Stuart. Do you know him personally?
No.
Never met him before this October 17th date?
No, ma'am.
And do you happen to have a copy of your order of repossession with you?
I can go to my car and get my tablet out the car.
That's no?
I don't have it
Okay.
on me.
Okay, that was my question. Now, at the point that you arrive at the house, do you pull your vehicle up on the grass as well?
Yes, I backed up to the vehicle and hooked to the vehicle.
So you're up on the grass, correct?
Yes.
And when you first encounter Mr. Stewart, you're in the vehicle, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And so then he can't see what's on the back of your shirt because you're seated in the vehicle, correct?
Objection calls for
When he first
speculation.
come, when he,
Just a moment.
Objection calls for speculation about what the defendant could see.
I don't
Well,
think
that's the question, so objection's overruled. Go ahead.
you're sitting in the seat of your vehicle, correct?
when he first come out the house, no, I was outside of my car getting ready to strap the back tire down.
Okay, but my first question was when you first see him, are you in the vehicle? Is that a yes or a no?
No,
Okay, you're not in the vehicle, you're outside of the
I'm
vehicle.
outside the vehicle.
And so then you encounter him on the grass, or what are you doing when you first encounter him?
Grabbing my strap off the back of my truck, getting ready to strap the back wheel down so I can drag the car.
Did you strap it down after you encountered Mr. Lewis?
I couldn't strap it down. She blocked me in. He ran in the house and got the gun. I jumped in the truck, the door of the truck. I mean, the guy threatened me, so.
Do you strap the car in before you lift it?
No, you can't strap it before you lift it. You gotta lift it up off the ground before you strap it.
Okay, so you lift it and then you
You
were
strap it.
proceeding to strap it?
Yes.
And then you encountered Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
correct? Did you see the white Toyota or Buick before you saw Mr. Lewis?
I saw it when I was coming down the street, sitting on the side of the truck.
So it was parked next to the truck?
Yes.
indicated that at some time during this event, Mr. Lewis pointed his gun, are you saying at you?
Yeah, pointed it at my truck. I was sitting in the truck.
Did he point it at you or at the truck?
He pointed it at me. I'm sitting in the truck.
Is that depicted in the video that we just saw?
No, ma'am.
But you indicated that you were in the driver's seat at the time, correct?
Yes.
You would agree with me if we look at the upper right quadrant, we can see out that driver window, correct?
You can't see the back of the truck. That's pointing towards me in my truck to the window, catching anything on the driver's side window.
Correct, but he was not standing at your driver's window with a gun in your face, was he?
No, he's standing at the back of the truck, at the bed of my truck.
So it's pointed at the truck, but not directly at you, correct?
It's pointing at me.
When did you, do you actually pull this video from your vehicle?
The company does.
You didn't have any access to it?
No, ma'am.
Do you know when it was turned over to the police?
As far as giving to the police, I don't recall.
And after you left the location, you then returned back to the address, correct?
Yes, once the police pulled up.
And did they ask you to come back there, or did you just go to watch on your own?
No, I went back to get my car.
So you're saying that you left there on foot?
No, I went back to get the car that I came for to repossess.
Oh, the car you went to repossess. And you did repossess that vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just 1 second. Mr. Perry, where are the logos on your truck?
They're on the door.
Both doors,
Yes.
driver's and passenger side?
Yes.
Do you know about what size they are?
I'm not for sure. The company put them on the truck.
Are they larger than they are on your shirt?
Yes.
Thank you very much. No further questions.
You indicated that you weren't able to put the straps on the vehicle itself
No, ma'am.
because you were interrupted at that time?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you were out of the vehicle, that's when your back is completely exposed.
Yes, ma'am.
That's when you first encountered the defendant?
Yes.
And when you first encountered the defendant, is he in front of you, behind you, to the side? Where is he?
Behind me.
And that's where the repo agent is actually written on your back, on the back of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you ever have an opportunity to answer him back in any way or show him that order at that time, or is he just making these statements to you very quickly?
I didn't have the opportunity. He was threatening. I mean, I was just trying to get away from there.
And when you say you were trying to get away from there, is that because you were fearful for your safety and your life?
Yes.
Nothing else?
I'll follow up, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Perry. You may step down. Mr. Perry, let me ask you one more question. How long have you been at this address before Mr. Lewis and this lady came out of the house? How long have you been here dealing with the automobile, the Sierra, before they came
About
out?
2 minutes.
2 minutes?
Yes.
Okay.
It only takes about 3 seconds to hook the car up.
Okay. Anything else pursuant to that line?
No. No, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Please have to be outside.
the testimony is going on, ain't gonna work. Okay, so maybe if you can find this in between pauses. Thank you.
Your Honor, yes. Our second witness would be Chief James Craig. We're calling a little out of order just to expedite his time here at the court.
Hi. Over here, please. How you doing? Good. Your name, please?
James Craig. Yep.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but
I do.
Good afternoon, sir.
I'm sorry, just one moment, please. If you could just please hold the microphone
Oh, hold
close to
it?
your mouth. Yes,
Okay.
please. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name and occupation for the record?
James Craig, CRIG, law enforcement, Detroit Police Department.
And what's your position within the Detroit Police Department?
Chief of Police,
How long have you been a police officer and how long have you been chief?
39 and a half years in law enforcement, starting as a police officer and as police chief here in Detroit, roughly 3.5 years.
And were you employed in that capacity on October 20th, 2016?
I am, yes.
And on October 20th, 2016, did you become aware of something that was going on at the location of 200 West State Fair in the city of Detroit, county of Wayne?
Yes, I was.
And what did you become aware was happening at that location on that date?
My staff brought to my attention some writings that was on a wall and showed me a picture concerning a threat against police officers and a threat against myself.
And when you were shown those photographs, did that cause you concern about the threats that were made against police officers and the threat against you?
I did.
And if you were to see those photographs or photographs of that wall, would you recognize those as being the same ones you saw on that occasion?
I would.
May I approach the witness, sir?
Yes, you may.
Handing you what's been marked as People's Proposed Exhibits 1 and 2. Can you tell me what those are?
Yes, in Exhibit C, some
I'm
writings.
sorry, the exhibit numbers that we're using are on the back.
On Exhibit People's 1, I've seen this before where it depicts writings that says kill all police. And then it goes on, kill J.A. and is cut off at that point.
And in People's 2, Proposed 2?
In People's 2, partial police, and it says kill James Craig. And I recognize that as well.
And is that the same, are those the same photographs that you were presented with on or about October 20th, 2016 of this year?
Not the same photograph,
The same,
but the same verbiage, the writing, I remember.
and does it appear to be in the same condition, the same manner in which those things are depicted on that page?
And that's correct, yes.
Does it fairly and accurately depict the photos that you saw on that day?
It does.
At this time, people would move to admit People's Proposed Exhibits 1 and 2. For exam purposes only, no.
All right.
So once you became aware of that on the wall in that area and what's depicted in those photographs, what action did you take or did you have taken as the chief of police?
My staff had already initiated an investigation into the matter, which I supported. An investigation commenced.
And did you take those threats seriously at that time?
I did.
And do you take threats like this seriously all the time?
I do.
And why is that?
Well, for one, the environment that law enforcement operates in today, and the number of police officers that have been killed, the anti-police rhetoric, certainly I take all threats very seriously.
And did you become aware or keep in contact with the investigation that has begun and that continued throughout this?
I was periodically updated as the investigation was progressing.
And did you ensure that the investigation was done to make sure that a person could be identified or a suspect could be identified, that efforts were made to locate any evidence, all of those types of things?
Yes.
This threat on the wall, did that cause you any concern with respect to apprehension, fear, stress, those things going on for the police officers that work for your department and yourself?
I was more concerned about the police officers. I was less concerned about me. While my name was specifically stated to kill James Craig, I was more concerned about the officers that may make contact at some point with a suspect responsible for the writing.
And those being police officers with the city of Detroit or other police officers that are acting with the police officers of the city of Detroit?
Just any police officer, because as it's depicted, kill all police.
And did you have genuine concern about what was on that wall and those police officers that may come into contact with that individual?
Yes, I did.
And do you continue to take this case and other cases like this seriously with respect to threats to police officers?
I take all threats against police officers seriously, regardless of where they emanate from.
Thank you. I have no further questions at this time.
Good afternoon, Chief Craig.
Good afternoon.
Just a few questions. You indicated that those were not the photos that you saw, correct?
That's correct. I was presented, and I'm sure it wasn't this. It was in, as I recall, I saw the entire writing on one page, but not this specific photograph.
And do you recall whether it was on paper like that or on actual photo paper?
It might have been on paper, and it was copied. It might have been on paper, and it was copied from something.
But it was something handed to you, not on a screen or anything?
That's correct. I think I saw it on the screen as well as an actual paper copy.
Did you keep
Not
a
certain.
copy?
I did not.
And have you seen other writings like that? You've been chief of police in Detroit for 3.5 years.
I have seen writings like this beyond my time here in Detroit, but never anything where specifically was referenced to me. But I have seen where there's been graffiti of killing police.
Okay, thank you very much. I have no further questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. You may step down.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're at this time the people called Police Officer Sheldon Lloyd.
Sheldon Lloyd.
Is that, spell Sheldon for me, please?
Sheldon.
Oh, is that the correct spelling of the last name?
One L.
L-O-Y-D. Thank you.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth so help you God?
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name and occupation for the record?
Sheldon Lloyd, police officer, Detroit.
And how long have you been a Detroit police officer?
16 and a half years.
Were you working in that capacity on October 17th, 2016, about 4:20 p.m.?
Yes, I was.
And did you go to the location of 19942 Exeter in the city of Detroit, county of Wayne?
Yes, I did.
Why did you go there?
I went there on the FA of a repo man.
When you say FA, does that stand for felonious assault?
Yes, it does.
And when you go to that area, do you make any observations consistent with your run?
I came in contact with the defendant and the victim.
When you say the defendant, is that with someone that you would recognize if you were to see that person again?
Yes.
Do you see that person in court today?
Yes, I do.
Where's that person located? What is that person wearing?
He has on county green pants and yellow shirt.
Indicating for the record identification of the defendant in this manner. And where did you encounter the defendant?
I think as far as I remember, he was in front of his home.
And did you investigate what you had been sent there for?
Yes.
And did you speak with the defendant?
Yes, I did.
And did he indicate anything to you about anything that had occurred with respect to that incident?
He stated to me that he was having some financial problems and that he needed some time to pay his bills.
Did he show you anything with respect to a weapon at that location?
Mm.
Yes. Did your attention, was your attention drawn to any particular area at that time?
To the rear of his pickup truck.
Who drew your attention to the rear of the defendant's pickup truck?
Well, the information that we received was that
Jackson Harrison. Don't tell me what information you received. Was your attention drawn to some particular area?
the pickup truck.
And then you said it was to the bed of the pickup truck?
Yes, it was.
What do you see or find in the bed of the pickup truck?
A BB gun.
Can you describe this gun?
It was black, rifle style, Daisy BB gun.
I didn't hear the last.
Daisy.
And is this the type of gun that actually expels a BB? Shoots something out of it?
Yes, it does.
And it wouldn't be a regular bullet, but it would be a BB that it would expel out of it, shooting if you were to pull the trigger.
Well,
That's
if...
the calculation.
That's the question.
Okay.
That's the question?
Correct.
All right, answer the question.
To the naked eye, it looked like a gun. You don't know it's a BB gun until you examine it.
Okay. But it is the type of weapon that would send something through the barrel out the front.
Yes.
It so happens that through investigation you find that it's not a bullet, but it would be a BB.
Yes.
Do you recover that weapon?
Yes, I did.
Did you place it in evidence?
Yes, I did.
While you're there, do you take any action with regard to the defendant?
Yes, I arrested the defendant for the felonious assault.
And while you're there, do you notice anything in the area that causes you concern on any walls?
Not at the time.
Okay. And how far is 19942 Exeter Street from 200 West State Fair?
Well, this is in the same general area.
And you don't notice anything that's out of the ordinary or concerns you at that time?
No, I was only there on my police run.
Once you arrest the defendant, where do you take him?
I took him to the Detroit Detention Center.
And where is that located?
That's a 17601 mile.
And how far is that approximately from the defendant's home?
I would say roughly maybe a mile and a half, 2 miles.
Did all this happen in the city of Detroit, county of Wayne?
Yes, it did.
Nothing further this witness.
Good afternoon, is it Officer Lloyd?
Yes, ma'am.
Officer Lloyd, how long have you been with the Detroit Police?
16 and a half years.
And on this date, you've gotten the report, you've responded to Mr. Lewis's home, correct?
That's
Was
correct.
he inside or outside of the home when you arrived?
I don't recall, but I know that when I encountered him, he was outside.
Okay, did he ever get in the GMC pickup?
When I encountered him, he was outside.
I heard you. Did he ever get in his vehicle?
No.
Did he ever retrieve anything from the vehicle?
No.
So when you see the black rifle BB gun, it is not in his possession, correct?
No, it was in the rear of the pickup truck.
And what else was in the rear of the pickup?
A lot of other, what I would deem to be junk.
Okay, and was the BB gun beneath the junk?
It was within the bed of the truck along with that.
Do you recall whether it was at the front or the rear of the trunk?
It's in the rear.
Of the rear of the bed, correct?
Correct.
But there were other items on top of it?
I don't recall whether there were items on top of it. All I know is I saw the BB gun in the bed of the truck.
And to be sure he did not direct you to where that BB gun was?
Yeah, he stated to me that it was in the rear of the bed.
Okay. So he directed you to where the BB gun was, and then at some point after that, you recover it, place it on evidence, and then you arrest him, correct?
Yes.
Did you have cross words with Mr. Lewis?
No, I don't recall.
Were you respectful to him?
I generally am. There's no reason to be rude to him.
Okay, so that's a yes?
Yes,
Did you arrest him without incident?
that's correct.
And then you transported him to the BBC, which is 2 miles away, correct?
An estimate.
About 2 miles.
Yeah.
Without incident, correct?
Yes.
And did you remain there with him for any particular time, or did you just drop him off?
Well, he has to be processed, paperwork, and then walked over to his processing cell.
Did you do those things
Yes.
without incident?
Yes.
And then you left his company, right?
Yes.
All right, no further questions.
Nothing further. Thank you, Officer Sheldon. Excuse me, Officer Lloyd, can you step down?
Thank you.
Here at this time, the people are calling Asia Whitehorn. And I would just remind the press that's in the room about the court's order. She's another civilian witness, and I don't want, I'm asking the court to order no face depicted in any photographs, be that they still or video, and her name not be depicted as well.
Hi. Your name, please?
Asia,
Please spell Asia.
A-S-I-A,
Pardon?
I-A,
Oh, A-S-I-A. Okay.
W,
This is your last name, right? W?
H,
H?
I-T-E-H-O-R-N.
Thank you.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. There's a microphone in the chair.
Oh.
Please hold it close to your mouth.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you state your name for the record?
Asia Whitehorn.
Ms. Whitehorn, I'm going to take your attention back to the date of October 13th, 2013. Do you recall that day and time?
Yes,
Or at a time about 5
Oh.
p.m.?
around that time.
I'm sorry, did you say October 13th, 2013?
That's correct.
Okay.
And on that day and time, did you know someone that you see in the courtroom today?
Yes,
And do you still know that person?
yes.
And that individual, where's that individual located? What is that individual wearing today?
Yellow with green pants.
Indicating for the record identification of the defendant in this matter, Stuart Lewis. How long had you known the defendant on that day? Or by now? How long?
Since I was around 13 years old.
And how old are you now?
26.
At the point in time of 2013, what had your relationship been with him?
Bad.
When you say bad, what type of relationship?
We didn't talk.
Okay. Prior to 2013, what was the relationship like?
Before then, I hadn't talked to Stuart to December 2012. That was the last time.
Prior to that time, what had your relationship been? Friends, more than friends, family members?
Enemies at that time.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what?
Enemies at the time. We didn't talk.
Okay. Before you became enemies, what was your relationship like?
Oh, friends. We're friends.
And had you ever lived at the same address as him?
Yes.
What address did you live with him at?
I forget the, what is it? I forget the address.
Do you know the name of the street?
Oh, yeah, Exeter.
And is that Exeter near State Fair?
Yes, State Fair is the
Um,
nearest road.
This home that you lived at with Stuart, did you live there with just him or anyone else?
My sister,
What's your sister's name?
Senier Whitehorn.
Can you spell her first name for the court reporter?
Yes, S-E-M-A-J. And her last name is the same as mine.
And how long did you live with him at that Exeter address?
A year?
And during that time period, did you have an opportunity to see his habits, view him at that time?
Yes, yes.
And had you ever seen his handwriting during that time period?
Yes,
What kind of ways did you see his handwriting?
just random writing, but he would write down the addresses and streets if he have to cut grass or do something for his boss, Bill Adams.
Did he ever do any writings like puzzles or
Objection,
things
leading.
like that?
I'm sorry.
Excuse me, speak. Objection, please.
You asked if he ever did any writings like the puzzles?
In puzzle books or things like that?
All right, well, did he write anything in puzzle books?
Yes, he liked to do puzzles from the newspaper.
Okay. Did he ever write notes to you or your sister while you lived at that location?
No?
No notes about going out to the store, things like that?
Oh, yeah, sometimes he would, if he would leave.
Just a moment, please. Here's an objection before your response.
Your Honor, I don't think it's leading. It doesn't suggest the answer. It's just asking for clarification on the kind of things that he might leave behind in terms of notes and things of that nature.
And if I may respond, she is leading her through what appears to be in the witness's statement.
Leading her to what appears to be
What
what?
appears in the witness's statement.
I haven't read the witness statement.
But she has, Your Honor, so that's why I'm submitting that she's leading.
So I'm assuming that you're trying to get to the point of, is she familiar with his handwriting?
Correct.
Okay, are you familiar with his handwriting?
Yes,
And how are you familiar with his handwriting?
just living with him. Even before I lived with him, I knew his handwriting.
And when you say I knew it, how did you know it? How did you become familiar with it? Where did you see it?
Just being around him, like if he was to pick us up from a bus stop or something, we call him for a ride, and he'll have things written in his car and just basic daily things that he used to do.
Okay. And did, at any point in time during the year of 2013 or before that, were there any documents that he filed or submitted to the court or to you that it had your name or anything on it that you saw?
No, but my mother told me that.
Don't tell me what someone else
Oh,
told you.
okay.
Did you see any documents like that?
No.
At some point in time, around October 13th, 2013, you said you and the defendant were not getting along.
No, we were not.
Did there come a time that your attention was drawn to something in the area of near his home on Exeter that caused you concern around that time?
It was before that time. I seen what was that everyone else seen way before that. It was put before then.
Okay.
So I think.
Don't tell me what anybody else saw. Did there come a time someone draws your attention to that area?
Yes, before then, before this date.
Okay. What date was it drawn to that area?
July 2013.
And when your attention is drawn to that area, did you ever go to that area and take a look?
Yes.
What did you see in that area?
Asian Whitehorn has AIDS.
And where was that located?
I think that's part of Snapple's building, but it's right directly in front of his house.
When you say part of Snapple's building, there's a Snapple facility there?
Yes, it's a Snapple's right, like, pretty much like half of his block is a Snapple's company right across the street.
Where is that in relation to 200 West Outer Drive, or West State Fair?
Maybe, if the block is the same, like, building from the State Fair in Exeter at the corner.
Okay. And what color is this wall?
Brown at the time. Brown.
And when you go to that area, do you see that on the wall?
Yes.
How do you feel when you see it on the wall?
Upset, very, very mad, upset.
And when you see it on the wall, do you have any impression, opinion, thoughts about who put that on the wall? Objection, speculation. Objection overruled. Thank you.
I automatically knew from when I first got the call that it was Stuart.
How did you automatically know it was Stuart?
Because that's Stuart MO. That's a Stuart move. That's something Stuart does.
What do you mean when you say that?
If Stuart gets upset with a person, he'll go on a rampage, temper tantrum, or spray paint, or bust the car windows out. If it's really bad, maybe try to burn something down.
And when you go to the area, do you see spray paint on that wall?
Now?
No, at that time.
Oh, yes.
2013.
Yes.
If you were to see a photograph of that, would you recognize it?
Yes, ma'am.
May I approach the witness, Judge? Yes. What's been marked as People's Proposed Exhibit 3. Can you tell me what that is? You can take it.
It's the writing that I seen in July 2013. Agent Whitehorn has AIDS.
And is that fairly and accurately depicts? Does that look like it looked on that date in 2013?
Yes.
And did you recognize anything about the handwriting when you saw it on the wall?
Yes, how he writes uppercase, lowercase within the, like, for instance, the last name Whitehorn, how it's uppercase, lowercase within it.
Okay.
It's not like all uppercase or lowercase.
And do you notice anything about any of the other things with regard to the writing, other than the uppercase and lowercase?
How it's written, like, for instance, the S's and the A's.
And that's consistent with what you've seen him in his writings before?
Yeah, he spray painted on the next property next door to him on the trees, and I was with him when he spray painted on there, so I know how he looks when he spray paints.
Okay. And does that look like it looked when you actually saw him physically spray paint somewhere else?
Yes. If it's words, letters.
May I approach the witness, Judge? I'm going to hand you what's been marked as People's Exhibits 1 and 2. Can you tell me what those are?
kill all police, kill James Craig.
And did you see those in relation to anything with the police at some point in time in this year, 2016?
Can you say that, rephrase that a little bit?
Did the police ever approach you in the year 2016 with any documents or any photographs of anything?
Yes, they did.
And are those the same types of photographs that you saw with the police in 2016?
Yes.
Did you notice anything about those photographs when you saw them, and also on today's date when you see them, about the writing that's on that?
Yes, the A's and the uppercase, lowercase, and the S's specifically.
And what about those A's, the uppercase, lowercase, and the S's, did you notice?
Because I have seen him written like an A and an S, and that's like his little thing he does, and he does the uppercase and lowercases. And
When you're saying he, are you referring to the different...
Stuart Lewis, yes.
Did you recognize that it's his handwriting when you saw it?
Yes, right away, right away.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Right away.
Your Honor, I would move to admit People's Proposed Exhibit 3, and then I would ask to publish all 3 exhibits to the court. For exam purposes only. All right. Other than your suspicion about the writing of Asia Whitehorn has AIDS on the wall, did you ever speak with the defendant about that?
Yes, I did.
And when you spoke with him about that, when was that?
I'm going to say April 2015. That was the last time I had spoke to him. And before the 2013, so yes, that's when I spoke to him about it. I called him.
And when you spoke with him about it, does he indicate anything to you about it?
When I first called him, it was 2 times that day. I called him, he was very shocked. He thought I was his sister agent. And I said, no. This is Asia Whitehorn. And he said, oh. And he got silent. And I said, Stuart, I need to talk to you. And he said, well, look, I'm working, and I'm going to call you back. I said, you can't call me back because I call restricted. I said, I'll call you back. So we got off the phone, and I called him back maybe an hour, maybe 2 later after the end to speak to him. And
what happens in that conversation?
Well, when we started to speak, he was with his right mind frame and, hey, how you doing? And was really still shocked but calmer. And I said, Stuart, my father is here. He came from out of town because I was having a problem with my siblings at the time. And I said, I'm not talking to them, but I said, my sister, Simea, told him about the AIDS, because it had been up there 2 years at the time.
Okay.
Told him about that.
It had been up there for some time.
Yeah, some time, and it didn't get removed.
Okay.
And I said, my sister told him about this, and he's very upset. And I'm telling you, he knows where you live at, and he's going to come there and make you take it down.
What
And
did
he
the
said,
defendant say at that time?
he said that he's sorry, and he'll take it down.
And when he says that to you, how do you feel?
I know that he'll take it down because how he was talking, and he didn't take it down, but I really thought that he'll take it down because he had a lot of remorse in his voice.
I'm sorry, you said he did or he did not?
He didn't take it down.
He did not take it
No.
down. Thank you.
You said remorse in his voice. Had you been familiar with Stuart for some time at that point?
Yeah, I know him since I was 13 years old.
And have you seen him with remorse before?
Yes, plenty.
Is that consistent with what you could hear in his voice on the phone on that day?
Yeah, when he get, like if he does something to someone that's close to him, and maybe argument, scream, temper tantrum, he'll feel bad afterwards. So he'll be much calmer and try to talk to you, and that happens many times because that wasn't the first time we fell out. So I trusted that he will take it out.
And you indicated that on that date, that was spray paint that you saw on the wall, and you'd previously seen him spray paint the trees. Any other places you'd seen him spray paint?
Yes.
Where's that?
On X, that's the service drive, but the street over from Cameron Street, my mother's street.
What was spray painted there?
Agent Whitehorn has AIDS.
So that in two places?
Yes.
One near his home and one near your mother's home?
One near my mother's home. The woman who garage he spray painted on is a friend. My mother lived there many years, is a friend, and she got her nephew to paint over it that same day after they called us and they went down there.
I don't have any further further questions for those witnesses.
Okay. Good afternoon. Is it Whitehorn?
Whitehorn.
It's Whitehorn, although there's not an E in there, correct?
It is the E.
There is an E?
Yes.
Okay. So, Ms. Whitehorn, you just indicated that she asked, the prosecutor asked you, had you seen him paint anyplace else? And you said you saw him paint Asia Whitehorn has AIDS at somewhere near your mother's house?
No, I didn't say that.
Okay. Have you seen him paint anyplace else?
Yes, I have seen the paint somewhere else, but I didn't see him actually paint. The 2 times that he painted Agent Whitehorn has AIDS, I didn't personally see him do it.
Okay, and then you said you saw him paint on trees, correct?
Yes, the tree next to his house.
And what did he paint on that tree?
He painted his the number for his address on there and some stick people on there too.
Okay, but no letters, correct?
No.
Have you ever seen him paint letters?
Yes, I have.
Where?
On his Bill Adams properties.
What?
When he boards up the boards, he'll spray paint.
First, hold on.
Oh.
Are you suggesting that you were at work with him?
Yes, many times I went to work with Stuart.
So you were at work with him and he is painting what on those properties?
He will paint the addresses on if he board up the doors, he will paint the addresses on the doors in the street.
Okay. And that would be on the outside of that building? He was painting?
It would be on the wood.
Okay.
On the door.
And fair to say he'd be painting numbers, correct?
Numbers and addresses on there,
So numbers
depending on what Bill Adams want him to paint.
Okay, how many times did you
The spray paint.
How many times did you see him spray street names?
Through the years, maybe 5 or 6 times through the years.
Do you recall any one of those street names?
One of them is near the neighborhood. I want to say, like near Chandler and 7 Mile. Bill Adams have a property over there. I'm not sure which street because that was back in 2011.
Right, but you saw the name of the street on the wall, so was it
Right.
9 Hour or 7 Mile?
No, I'm saying that's the nearest crossroads.
Correct.
On there, I can't remember where it was at because we've been to so many properties.
Right, but I'm asking you to try to remember what words you've seen him paint before.
Well, I can't remember because it was such a long time ago, but I have seen him paint, but I can't remember exactly.
You've seen him paint
Spray paint.
words?
Addresses.
The words of an address.
Right, the letters and the words, yes.
Now, you indicated that he had broken windows. Were you ever with him doing that?
No, I wasn't with him when he broke
Okay.
windows.
Were you ever with him burning things?
I
Yes,
wasn't,
yes or no?
yes,
Yes, you were with him while he was burning something?
yes.
And I'm assuming if you all had a disagreement, you've seen his temper, correct?
Yes.
Now, you said that you saw this painting for the first time in July of 2013, correct?
Yes.
And you were mad about it, correct?
Yes.
And at the same time that happened, you say that he also painted the same language at a house near your mother's house,
A garage.
correct? Same
Yes.
time, July 2013.
Right.
It is not until October 2018 that you go to the police, correct?
One more time, 2001, you said 18.
I'm sorry, it's not until October 18th of 2013 that you go to the police, correct?
I never went to the police.
You never made a report to the police?
Never made a report.
Okay. So any police report purporting to be a statement from you on the 13th, you did not make it?
I didn't make a police report about it at all.
Now, you said that most recently the police approached you with these photos of the kill James Craig, correct?
Yes.
But didn't you call the police and tell them first to come see you?
No, I didn't. I never knew about the James Craig thing until they came to my door.
You didn't see it on the news?
No,
You didn't make any contact with police?
no, I did not.
Now, when we're talking about Mr. Lewis's handwriting,
Yes.
can you recognize his signature?
I think so. I can recognize the signature.
Okay, and then being able to recognize his signature, pen to paper, you would agree pen to paper is handwriting, correct?
I don't understand. I don't understand.
Pen to paper. Pen, if I write on a piece of paper.
Oh, you trying to say this is the same as the spray paint?
No, I'm asking the question that I'm asking. I'm not trying to say. I'm asking you. You would agree with me that writing pen or pencil to paper is someone's handwriting, correct?
Yeah. Oh, that's their signature right now.
If they're not writing their own name, if they're just writing other words, like crossword puzzles, that's their handwriting.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Like
Yeah. I
a list
understand.
of addresses to go to, that's someone's handwriting.
Right.
You agree with me,
Right.
right?
Yeah. That's their handwriting.
And
That's
so
correct.
then, would you not agree that painting with a spray paint pen is not necessarily the same writing that you saw of his on the paper, correct?
I mean, it's the same shape.
I understand.
So
It's the same-
that would be the handwriting. I don't see why that wouldn't be the handwriting for the same shape.
It's the same shape, but it is not necessarily the same writing. Would you agree with me?
No, I would agree with you with that.
Okay, then what you're telling us
I'm sorry,
is
you
that,
said no, I would not, or no, I would agree.
No, I would not agree.
okay, so the handwriting that she showed you of Asia Whitehorn has AIDS. Would you agree with me that's very neat writing, correct? Yes?
Neat? No, it's not neat, but it's his handwriting.
Oh, the judge. Ma'am, please, Your Honor.
I think you must understand, did you say it's unique handwriting?
No, I said neat.
Oh, neat handwriting.
We're gonna ask you to look at this picture.
Yes.
You can see each letter, correct?
Yes.
And in fact,
Oh, is it clear handwriting? Yes, it's clear.
okay, clear. Neat handwriting, right? All in a line?
Mm-hmm.
Letters,
Yes.
letters uniform, correct?
Yes.
Do you see the same thing in this?
Yes, it's the same handwriting.
Do you notice, as you indicated, large, lowercase and uppercase, correct?
Yes.
If you look at the K here,
Yes.
this K, you don't know if it's uppercase or lowercase, it's just big as the I, correct?
Yes.
These L's here, you've got all police. Is this in a straight line, as straight as Asia Whitehorn?
No, it is not, but
Is it as thin as Asia Whitehorn?
then,
No,
It is.
you're looking at these two pictures.
yes.
Is it as straight?
No, it's not in a line.
It is not in a line. Are the E's the same?
No, it is not.
Now, if you look here, in this one,
Yes.
the G is capital at the end, correct?
Yes.
The I has a dot, correct?
Yes.
This is more straight in line than kill the police, correct?
Yes.
Do you not see the difference in the handwritings between these two?
I don't see a difference because that's how he writes, so.
No, I'm
It is-
asking you about what you see.
I don't see a difference.
Answer the question. Very well. See? You said the trees near his home where he painted just numbers, correct? The address?
Yes, in shapes, drawing.
Stick people.
Yes.
Did you see the can of paint?
Yes, he found a crate full of paint, spray paint, and a clean out. A clean out is what he does is for the banks or for Bill Adams. He'll go and clean out the house and get it prepared for the bank.
Do you believe it's like the same size can as like a can of starch?
Oh, it was different kinds. It was different brands, different colors.
Okay. And that would have been in 2012, December or before, correct?
That was in 2012.
And at that point, you all became enemies, right?
We stopped talking. We weren't in a good relationship the end of the summer 2012. So I want to say September is when me and my sister, we called the police. We made a police report on him because he was acting violent at the time, and we left the house. So
Okay.
that would be the last time.
In 2012, correct?
2012, around September.
You've had no personal contact with him since 2012?
Physical, yes.
Physical contact?
Yes, I didn't see them since then physically.
I'm sorry?
Physically, I have seen them since 2012, September.
When you say seen him, do you mean actually just laid your eyes on him?
No,
Or
I
did
do
you
not.
all interact?
Interaction.
Okay. When was the last time?
This was 2013. I want to say it was a little bit before the spray paint. He seen me. I was coming from my brother's house, which is also on Exeter. At the time, it was also on Exeter, maybe 10 houses down. And then my mother's house is like Cameron Street, which is across the freeway. So that's like maybe 10 streets away. I was going there. I stopped at the gas station with my little sister. He seen me. He hurried up and came when me and my sister was coming out of the car, going into the gas station. He put his truck, he drove his truck right next to it. I got to talk to you right now. So I didn't want to have an interaction with him. I got back in the car. Instead of going to my mother's house, I wanted to go back to my brother's house and tell my brother how he was acting. He chased me and my sister down, tail to tail, like I was speeding. I was very scared. Went to my brother's house. I parked my car. I jumped out. I blew my horn, jumped out the car. My brother came out. What's going on? Soon after that, Stuart came coming, like speeding across.
Okay, I'm going to stop you. Is that the last time you saw him in 2013?
Yes.
Okay. And did you ever know what he wanted to talk to you about?
No, I just went to the police.
You did make a police report of that incident?
Yes, I did.
And so then when you called him in 2015
Yes.
regarding this painting because your dad's coming in town,
Yes.
did you go by to check to see if he had removed it?
I did about a week and a half later because I went to my mother.
Was it removed?
No, it was not.
So a week and a half after April 2015, it was still there?
Yes.
Okay, just one second. Whitehorn,
Yes.
did you ever have an intimate relationship with Mr. Lewis?
No, I did not.
To make sure that I'm making a distinction, did you ever have sex with Mr. Lewis?
I understand, no.
Have you ever known him to institute proceedings regarding the paternity of your child? That's a yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you. No further questions.
And briefly with respect to that, the child that you've known him to institute paternity proceedings regarding, what's that child's name?
It's no child of mine. He made up a child named Muhammad because a detective came to my house. It was Muhammad something. I forget.
Okay. You have no child by the defendant?
No, no.
When that information came to your attention, do you recall when that was?
I'm caught, yes. My son, my first child, was born September 2013. My baby was a month old when the detective came. How I remember, because the detective started laughing. He said the baby was some 6 or 9 month old baby, and I had just given birth. My baby was very small, maybe not even a month. So he...
This was in the area of October of 2013?
No, September. Yeah. October, early October, late this September.
Okay. Because the baby was born in September of 13.
Yes, my baby.
Right.
My first baby.
Not a baby that you had with the defendant.
I don't have a baby with the defendant, but that make-believe baby, yeah.
Was looking at a report that was generated in 2013, refresh your memory as to when you spoke with police regarding an incident in which he was chasing you down the street.
Can you say that again? I understand.
Okay, you told the defense attorney earlier you weren't sure exactly what date it was that there was an incident in which he chased you down the street with the defendant.
Yes.
We're looking at a report that was generated about that incident, remind you of the date that it happened.
Oh, yes.
May I push the way?
I understand.
Handing you a 2-page document.
Yes.
Do you know what that is? Is that a police report?
Yes, it's a police report. I was just reading.
Right. And do you see in the information regarding the incident something consistent with what you talked about having happened with the defendant?
Yes.
And does that refresh your memory as to the date, at least the date range in which this happened with regard to the defendant?
Yes.
When did that occur?
It occurred on October 13, 2013 at 5 p.m.
And you remember it happening in the afternoon hours?
Yeah, it was later.
I'm handing you what's been marked as People's Proposed Exhibits 4, 5, and 6.
Okay.
Now, these have multiple photos on them, 2 photos each. I'm going to direct your attention to the photo that's of a document, some writing.
Okay.
On Proposed Exhibit 4, do you recognize any of the handwriting on that?
Yes, it's Stuart's handwriting.
And do you see his handwriting as well as his signature?
Yes, I do.
On People's Proposed Exhibit 5, the lower picture, do you see some writing there?
Yes.
And what's the writing that you see there consistent with?
Oh, it's the writing on the wall. It's the Muhammad Michael, the make-believe baby.
Is that consistent with Stuart's handwriting?
Oh, yes, yes.
And when you say the make-believe baby, is that the incident that you're talking about with the name of the child that Stuart invented saying that you had with him?
Yeah.
And then taking you to People's Proposed Exhibit 6, the lower portion of that, the lower half. Can you tell me anything about that, the writing on that document?
Do you want to know what it is? Or would you?
Do you recognize the writing?
Yes, I would. Stuart's handwriting.
And does it depict your name similar to what you saw on the wall in the area of State Fair and Exeter back in 2013?
Yes, it's similar.
It has your name and his information as well?
Yes.
And if you can tell, is that regarding the incident involving the made-up child? If you can tell.
Yeah, I'm just wondering why he got my social security number. Like, this guy's awesome and stalker. Yes.
In the top photo, do you recognize the writing in there?
Yes.
And is that similar to Stuart Lewis's handwriting as well?
Yes.
And do you recognize that as all being his handwriting?
Yes.
Do you need a moment? Your Honor, at this time, I don't have any further questions for the witness.
Just a brief follow-up. Ms. Whitehorn, are you telling us that your first child was born September of 2013?
Yes.
You have no children younger or older than that child?
No. No, no.
Did you tell the police when you went to, now tell me, this incident with him allegedly following you from the gas station, did you call the police to you or did you go to the police station?
I went to the police station.
And did you tell the police then that your child was in the car with you?
Yes.
And what child were you speaking of? The infant?
Yes.
And so you did not have a child in December of 2012?
No, I didn't have a child before that.
I have no further questions.
No, for your.
Thank you, Ms. Whitehorn. You may step down.
Thank you.
Please leave it on the chair.
Ms. Whitehorn, off the record, if you are concerned about identity theft, is that your concern? Then I would check my credit report and also make an identity theft report to the police department and the Secretary of State. Okay?
Yes, please.
At this time, the people are calling police officer Holt.
Are you police officer Holt?
No, I was looking for tissue.
Oh, tissue, yes, I'm sorry, I didn't know what you were saying. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. May I have your name, please?
Derek Holt.
Please spell Derek for me.
D-E-R-R.
I-C-K.
H-O-L-T.
Thank you.
Leave the microphone on the chair.
No, can you sit down, pick it up, and hold it close to your mouth? Thanks.
Yes, I do.
And Liz, may I have a moment to change my name, please?
afternoon, sir. Can you state your name and occupation for the record?
Yes, my name is Derek Holt, and I'm detention officer at the Detroit Detention Center.
And were you working in that capacity on October 19th, 2016?
Yes, I was.
And were you involved in the release of defendant in this matter, Stuart Lewis?
Yes, I was.
And do you see that person in court today?
Yes, I do.
Where's that person located? What is that person wearing?
He's wearing Wayne County prisoner uniform, and he's located right over here, just in front of me to the right.
Indicating for the record identification of the defendant in this matter. And with regard to the Detroit Detention Center, is that located in the city of Detroit?
Yes, it is.
And what's the address of the Detroit Detention Center?
17601 Mile Road.
At some point in time on the date of October 19th, did you receive some information that he was to be released from that location?
Yes, I did.
And do you and your workers authorize his release and go about releasing him from the Detroit Detention Center?
That's correct. We bonded him out.
And when you say bonded him out, you don't pay the bond, you actually do the paperwork and everything with regard to that?
Correct.
And is there some paperwork, like a release checklist information sheet that's generated with respect to the defendant?
That is correct.
And was one of those generated with respect to this defendant?
Yes, it was.
And then would it give the time that he's released from that location, from the facility?
Yes, it would.
Is there also any video depiction that would show the exit door to that location, that would show the time someone leaves?
Yes, there is.
May I approach the witness, Judge? Handing you a document, can you tell me what that is?
This is a release checklist information sheet that is used by the Detroit Detention Center.
And is that with regard to this defendant, Stuart Horatio Lewis?
Yes, it is.
And what was the time in which he was released from the facility?
They have him released at 8:15 p.m. and 33 seconds.
And at some point in time, do you get the video of the exit door for the police?
Yes, it's automatically the whole detention facility operation is under 24-hour surveillance.
And did you get a copy of the portion in time in which he's exiting the location for the Detroit Police Department in this circumstance?
Yes, I did.
Would you recognize the still of that video if you were to see it on the screen next to you?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to show the witness People's Proposed Exhibit 8. Do you recognize that as being the exit door of the Detroit Detention Center?
Yes, I do.
And do you recognize this as being the time in which you gave to your fellow Detroit police officers with respect to this matter?
Yes, that is correct.
And move for the admission of People's Proposed Exhibit 8. No objection for admission. So admitted. What is the time depicted on the still of the screen?
2017, which would be 8:17 p.m. in civilian time.
2017 being military time?
Yes, that's correct.
And so 8:17 p.m.?
That is correct.
And at this time I will push play. And at 8:17 p.m., who do you see exit that facility?
Defendant Lewis.
And was he the first person out the door?
That is correct. He was the first.
And he is actually the one pushing that door open.
Yes.
I don't have any other questions for this one.
I have no questions. Thank you, Officer Holt. You may step down.
At this time, people call police officer Andy.
Thank you. She'll swear you in.
Did you right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth to help you God?
Yes. Here's a microphone on the chair. When you start testifying, just hold it close to your mouth.
Good morning, or good afternoon, ma'am. Can you state your name and occupation for the record?
Tanya, Stribling, police officer for Detroit,
And how long have you been a Detroit police officer?
16 years.
Were you working in that capacity on October 20th, 2016, about 2:47 p.m.?
Yes,
And on that day and time, were you in the area of 19942 Exeter in 200 West State Fair in the city of Detroit, county of Wayne?
yes,
Where are they in relation to each other?
across the street from each other.
Did there come a time that something drew your attention in the area of 200 West State Fair on that day and time?
Yes,
What drew your attention?
graffiti on the wall.
Can you describe what you saw on the wall?
Kill all police, kill James Craig.
What did you do when you saw that on the wall?
Took 3 pictures.
And did you notify anyone of what you saw?
Yes,
And was that a supervisor within the department?
yes,
Did you see anyone in the area when you were there and took pictures of the wall?
yes.
Who did you see in the area?
Mr. Lewis there.
When you say Mr. Lewis is there, do you see that person in court today?
Yes,
Where is that person located? What is that person wearing?
yellow shirt, green pants.
Indicating for the record identification of the defendant in this matter.
I didn't hear you. Oh,
When you make that observation of him, where is he located?
oh. Sitting right here in this chair.
No, on that day.
Oh, his house.
And where is his house?
I can't remember the address, but Exeter,
Where is it in relation to 200 West State Fair?
across the street.
And you speak with him at that time?
Yes.
Can you tell me anything about his demeanor when you speak with him?
It was a bit weird.
When you say weird, what do you mean?
He was kind of defensive.
When you say he was defensive, were you talking to him about anything in particular?
Yes.
What were you talking to him about?
Debris that was dumped on the vacant lot on the side of his house.
And you said he was defensive when you were speaking with him about that?
Yes.
Did you have any further contact with him then?
Yes. Yes, I did.
And did you leave information with him to help you determine anything about that wall and the paint?
I didn't leave information with him about the wall and the paint. I did leave him my business card and told him if he see anybody dumping in the area to call me. But that was before I saw the paint.
So you left him your business card regarding the dumping incident?
Yes.
Did that happen in the city of Detroit, county of Wayne?
Yes.
Nothing further to swear.
Very briefly, is it Stribling?
Yes.
Good afternoon, Officer Stribling. Did you accuse Mr. Lewis of dumping himself?
No.
Did you ask him where the debris came from?
I asked him, had he seen anybody dumping in the area?
And he responded to you that he had not, correct?
Yes.
And did he say, I didn't do it?
He just said he hadn't seen anyone.
Okay, well, what did you find offensive about that?
I didn't find anything offensive about that.
Defensive about that?
I didn't find anything defensive about that statement.
Okay. No further questions?
Anything else?
No.
Thank you, Officer Stribling. You may sit down.
At this time, the people call Police Officer Bolden.
How is she pronouncing her name? Stribling?
Yeah, I guess
That's not what she told me.
It's her maiden.
Andy is her maiden.
Okay. Now, do you know how to spell the name that she was saying?
Andy?
No, she told me Anding, A-N-D-I-N-G. Yeah.
Stribling with the
Tanya Anding.
R-I-B-L-I-N-D.
Right.
Tanya Anding?
S-T-R-I-B-L-I.
That's not what she told me.
She used Andy at work.
So it's Tanya,
Andy. The one the name she gave.
okay.
I don't know what she's wearing her married name.
Do you know how to spell the name that she was saying on the stand?
Stribling.
Yeah.
S-T-E-R-B-L-I-N-G.
Can you just call her in so I can make sure? Is
Yeah,
it okay to make sure?
When I spelled it just now, I didn't spell it like that. You said yeah.
Would it be?
I said S-T-R-I-B-L-I-N-G.
Yeah.
You said S-T-E-R.
S-T-R-E. I just want to write it.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
I had no idea. No whatsoever.
I had the same
Okay,
problem.
starting with your first name?
T-A-N-I-A.
T-A-N-I-A.
S-T-R-I-B.
T-R-I-B.
L-I-N-G.
L-I-N-G. Now what's the ending?
I'm divorced. This is my maiden name. That's my married name.
Okay,
this
so
one
is
is
it Tanya
not-
Stribling
Yeah.
ending?
No, ending is nowhere.
Okay,
I'm just saying it.
okay. So on the transcript, it'll be Tanya Stribling.
Okay.
Thank you.
At the 10 people call Police Officer, Sergeant Rebecca McKay.
Hold on one second, okay? Just continue stand. All right. Your name, please?
Rebecca, R-E-B-E.
R-E-B-E.
C-C-A. M-C-K-A-Y.
Thanks.
You solemnly swear or affirm this testimony about to give us the truth, so help you God.
I do.